Hi, I'm Craig Collins, and I'm a storyteller. And tonight I'm going to tell you a story of one that was given to me by a friend of mine named Robert Johnson, a famous therapist and analyst, a friend of Carl and Anna Jung. So I'm going to start off like all stories do, and by saying, once upon a time. A long time ago, many years ago, there were two men, rowdy men. One's name was Gawain and one was named Arthur. Arthur. Yes, like in King Arthur, and it was the same man, but he was much younger at that time. Well, one day they were riding off into the inn, and they were going to have quite a few drinks, and as they did, they kept imbibing and drinking. The wenches came and played, and they were having a jolly time. Well, they decided it was time to leave, and they got on their horses, and they rode, and they rode, and they rode, and as they did, Arthur reaches down, and he picks up a goose. Oh, that was not a good idea to pick up a goose. It was not a good idea. Because as he did, he rode to the next town, and there's a buxom woman in the backyard near the fence, and he throws it over and gives her the goose. Oh, well, right now that doesn't seem that bad, does it? But at that time, a goose was food, and very expensive food. Food that would feed a family for years, maybe days, months, maybe even years, because they would store it. Well, anyway, he gave her the goose. Oh my God, this caused such havoc, because after he wasn't drunk and Gawain and he had returned, it was found out that they had stolen the goose, the major offense in the area. So they had to bring them before the tribunal. The king and the queen were there, and all the townspeople, and everyone was standing there. And the king came to him and said, "You have committed a crime, a serious crime against your fellow people in our village. We want you to find out for us and discover what does woman want in the world. And if you do, then you won't have to go to prison. But if you don't, you will go to prison for many years. Do you understand?" Oh my. What does woman want in the world? I think I know what woman wants in the world, but that's probably not it. Oh my. Okay, I'll do that. And so he walks off the stage, and the king and the queen, they depart, and the townspeople are in a hush, and they're concerned, they like them. Arthur is a wonderful man, and he's going to become famous someday. But now he's going to go to prison if he can't understand what it is that woman wants in the world. So the next day, he's riding on his horse, and he's riding and he's talked to some nuns in the convent. He's talked to women in the bars and the inns. He's questioned everyone, and no one knows what it is that woman wants in the world. So he's riding his horse, and he comes around a corner, and he sees this couple, this old man who's in front of his cart, and he's trying to push a wheel over to the cart, and he's trying to get it off. It's fallen off, and his wife is standing there in horror. And so Arthur, the gentleman he is, he gets off his horse, wraps his horse around the tree for a minute, and gets up, and he rolls the wheel up and then lifts it up onto the cart. Oh, the old man is so joyous and so relieved, and his wife the color has come back into her face. And he says to me, he says, "You may not know me." He says, "But I am Arthur, and I have been commissioned by the king to find out what woman wants in the world. What woman wants in the world. And you have been with a woman for a long time, so please do, sir, tell me, what do you believe that woman wants in the world?" "Well, I don't know what woman wants in the world. I have a court, I have my wife. But he says, I do know there is a woman that may know the answer to your question. She lives at the top of the hill. If you follow this path, you follow to the top, and you see an old house and a kind of a rickety fence. And she knows what a woman wants in the world, I believe. She knows everything. Well, thank you, good sir. So nice of you to tell me that, because this is very important to me. I have a very important task before me, and it means my life to me. So he gets back on his horse, and he cloppity-clop, 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 and there's cobblestones all over, and there's a river running down the side and a French drain, and there's trees and a canopy of flowers and trees. And as he rides along, he keeps going up higher, and the trees start to disappear. The trees, the leaves on the trees have fallen off. The trees are starting to look really old and ragged, and there is no cobblestone. It's just dirt and dust, and he keeps riding up higher and higher, and finally he sees the house. Oh, there it is. And there's smoke coming out of the chimney, which is good news, because that means there's someone inside. So he gets off his horse, and he wraps his horse around the little post, and he then leaves, and he walks by, and he pulls open the gate, and falls off in his hands, and everything is dead in the yard. It's a very dank place, you might say. And he goes up and he knocks on the door. Knock, 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 knock. Knock, 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 knock. And he looks in the window, and it's very dirty windows, and looks in on the roof, and the fire's still coming up, and he thinks for a minute, oh, maybe she's not here, maybe she's in the back, and he turns around.
Hello. Hi. Can I help you? Oh, yes. I see it's you. You are Arthur, and you've come to ask me a question. And yes, I know. I know the answer to your question. You want to know what woman wants in the world, don't you? You want to know what woman wants in the world. And I know the answer, but you must first. You must tell Gawain I love him. I love Gawain, and I wish to marry Gawain. And if Gawain marries me, I will tell you what woman wants in the world.
Oh, good woman, hello, knock, 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 knock. Please open the door. Oh, please, I need to talk to you. I need to ask you a question. It's a question of importance. It's very important. Gawain would love you. He would love you. Oh, please, oh, so darn. Oh, I must go find Gawain. I must go talk to him. And so he leaves, and he gets back on his horse, and he rides on his horse, and down the cobblestone, back under the trees, and there's leaves now on the trees, and then there's a French drain, and there's water in it. It goes past the little curve where he saw the horse and the old cart and the man and the woman. And he rides through the town, and he sees where he had been standing on the platform with the king and the queen. And he realizes that he's riding his horse, but as he does, he thinks, and he comes to the inn, and he knows, he sees Gawain's horse, and so he's there. He's somewhat excited to see it. He found him, and he goes into the inn, and he walks in, and there's Gawain up on a table with a broom, and the winches are trying to pull him off, and the innkeeper is trying to get him down. And he's causing quite a row, and he seems to be just a bit intoxicated, you might say. He's intoxicated. But so Arthur walks in, he grabs him by the legs, throws him on his shoulder, and carries him out, much to the applause of the winches and the innkeeper, and of course all the other people who were being bothered by him. And he puts Gawain up on his horse, and he kind of gets him on, and he gets on, and he's holding on, and he rides, and he's trying to get his reins back, and he's trying to get on the saddle, and finally he gets on, and he rides, and he rides, and they ride out into this vast area where there's a low stream of water and a fallen log, and they get off, and as they do, and Gawain gets there, he falls off his horse and falls into the water. And then Arthur, he stands there waiting, and then Gawain settles himself and pushes the water off him a bit and says, "My good friend, what are you doing?" As I always says, Gawain, he says, "My friend," he said, I met a woman, a beautiful woman, a woman who wants to marry you, a beautiful lass. A little bit eccentric, you might say, and maybe a little strange in the face, but nonetheless someone very special, and she wants to marry you. Remember when we got in trouble? Remember when I rode my horse and I picked up the goose and then I took it to the next town and I threw it in the back? The woman with the large breasts. Yes, well, I got in trouble. I got in trouble for sure. I had a terrible time with this experience. It was absolutely crazy for me. Well, now they want me to find out what woman wants in the world. What does woman want into the world? What does she want from the world? I had no idea. I asked everyone. No one seemed to know. Do you know what woman wants for the world? And he goes, No, I don't know what woman wants in the world. I don't. Well, if you agree to marry her, then I couldn't make you do that. She's not very attractive. She's quite sad, in fact. Oh, not someone I think that you should meet and marry, but if you did, then I would be saved. And he looks at him and he says, "No," he says, Arthur, he says, "I am your friend and you are my friend. And if I was in the same experience, if I was feeling and having the same problem, I know you would jump forward, you would step forward and you would marry her. And so I'm no less a man than you. I will marry her. I will marry this woman so that she can tell you what woman wants in the world." Amazing. So I will marry her. I will marry her. I will be an honorable friend. I don't care what she looks like. I will marry her. Hey, oh my God, that's incredible. Thank you so much. And knowing he doesn't want to talk him out of it, he says, "Okay, I'll make the arrangements." And he gets up on his horse. And he rides back in his horse and past the inn, and he passed the town, and up the road, and the cobblestone, the canopy of trees, and then the blue sky that opens up, and the dirt and the dust and the dankness. And he gets up to the house, and he gets to the house, and he leaves his horse out front, and he goes to the gate that's still on the ground, and everything is all dying. He walks up to the door and he goes, "Knock, knock, 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 knock." Knock, 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 knock. And he looks up, and yes, the fire is still going. And he so needs to talk to her. "Please, good lady, open the door." Knock, 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 knock. And he puts his hands in his hair. He moves over to look at his horse, and
Hi, Arthur. You've come back and you still want to know what woman wants in the world, don't you? You want to know. And did you talk to Gawain? Did you talk to Gawain?
Yes, I did. I talked to Gawain. He said he'd be happy to marry you. And he said that you should tell me right off what it is that woman wants for the world. What woman wants in the world? I still can't imagine.
Oh, well, that is very good. I am so pleased. I love Gawain. Well, what woman wants in the world? Is sovereignty over her own life. Sovereignty over her own life. That's what she wants. Now make the arrangements quickly. I want to marry Gawain right away. I'll meet you at the church. Thank you.
Oh, God, that was easy. I guess Gawain's going to be marrying this woman. Okay. So he returns to the city and he makes the arrangements, and then now we move forward, and there's Gawain sitting at a big table with a priest who has drank so much he's fallen asleep next to a big tree. And his wife, his woman he's married, who's finally seen for the first time, he can't believe she looks like this. She's so ugly. And she's drinking and she's eating the food, and she has bugs on her. Bugs that are all over her. She is not looking good at all, and he realizes that he must follow her soon to the nuptial suite. And she crawls away, and there's like dust and dirt and dankness, and mice are following her, and she's so ugly and so strange. And she walks up and she goes up the stairs on the outside of the building, and she goes down a hallway, and then the room when the light comes on, a lamp is lit, and she's now in the room, and Gawain stands there, looking up. He sits down back in his chair. He finishes another stein of beer. He doesn't know what to do, but he knows he has now married her. The priest has made it so. It's a religious and it's a legal thing now. He is now married to her. And now he must go consummate the marriage. He must go to the nuptial suite. He must bear himself for her. So, oh my, okay. And he walks up. He puts his shoulders back. He's a little stumbly because he has been having a little bit to drink. And he goes up the stairs, and as he goes up the stairs, he takes the last step, and he walks down the hallway, and there's a big door. And he opens the door, and there's no creaking sound this time, just an opening of a door. And he walks in, and he sees someone sitting on the bed, and he goes to the chair that's got the lamp above it. It's like a carving in the wall where the lamp sits. And he sits down in the chair, kind of falls backwards, and looks up. Oh my lady, I'm so sorry. I must be in the wrong room. And the lady sitting on the bed is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And he looks at her and he says, oh, please, good lady, I'm so sorry. I'm sure your husband is coming soon. I'm so sorry that I have bothered you. I'm so sorry to have intruded, but you've been a gift to me because I get to see you. I'll take your memory with me. Believe me, I'll take your memory with me all the rest of my life, I believe. And she's sitting on the bed and she says, no. You are Gawain, and you are my husband, and I love you dearly. There had been a curse. And in the curse it said that if a man would marry me for who I was, without how I looked and how ugly I was, I would allow him to choose if I would be ugly all day and beautiful at night, or beautiful during the day and ugly all night. And you can choose that. Oh my God. Oh, you are so beautiful. But no, I can't make that decision. That's a decision you have to make. You decide when you want to be beautiful for me, or you want to be the old woman that you were when I met you. It's your choice. I cannot make that choice for you. And she smiles. And she looks at him. She says, you have broken the entire curse. Because the curse was that if you let me choose if I would be beautiful in the day and ugly at night, then I could choose to be beautiful for you all the time. What does woman want in the world? She wants sovereignty over her own life. And so do men.